Are you tired of putting out social media posts for your coaching business all the time and not getting any clients in return? Well, today I'm going to share the 3 secrets on how you can build up your YouTube channel for your coaching business and start monetizing your views, but also your subscribers and turning them into high quality, high paying clients consistently. Hey, I'm Czekanski, and I help personal development coaches build up their YouTube brand and turn it into consistent new clients every single week. And what I created, what I call the Hive method. So I'm going to cover one part of it today, kind of the key process of taking your subscribers off of YouTube and start that process of turning them from prospects to high-paying clients. So every morning I go out to take a walk with my 2 kids. I've got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, so we go out in the double stroller. We're still on, kind of semi-quarantine right now, so we kind of go for a couple laps around the neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods. And one of the things that stuck out to me last week was going around to this one part of the street, in that there were about 5 houses that were for sale all at the same time on that one little street. And most of them just had a real estate sign out front that had the real estate agent's picture, the name of the company, and a phone number to call. But there's one, the signs that really stood out to me. It was kind of a little thing, but it was kind of very much different from all the rest. None of the others kind of had this one thing on there. And it kind of lines up with one of the key things that I'll share with you today in taking your subscribers off of YouTube and turning them into those high-paying clients consistently. So take a look at the picture here. I just took it from my cell phone, but in looking at that picture, what do you think is really different that you might not have seen on that regular real estate sign that you see frequently throughout your town or your city? It's really that thing at the top where he's kind of, the agent is kind of signifying that if you want to view some pricing information, some photos, that you should text this specific number. And it's all about having some type of call to action. So, photos and some price information isn't a huge amount of value, but if you look at every other real estate sign that it's out there. So here's another one that's just a couple doors down in terms of that sign. So what you see there is, again, kind of that real estate agent's face, their company behind it, but also their phone number. There really isn't anything that's really going to motivate you. There's nothing of value that's really saying, call me right now, and here's what you get in return. So, that's really important to kind of motivate people and get them to continue the conversation. So it can be a very little thing, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but in kind of getting more people to watch your YouTube videos, but also get them off the platform and turning them into clients, this call to action is really important. And it's one of the things that I see frequently in coaches creating social media content, that they're not including some type of call to action at the end of each of their posts. Like, what do you want that person to do after they've consumed your content? What's that next step? What's that next value added activity that you can give them to motivate them to continue to consume your content in some way, shape, or form? Or should they just go off and get distracted by other things? So if you don't have a call to action, you're inviting that person to just get distracted by somebody else's content or to watch another YouTube video. We want to continue the conversation as much as possible. And I talked about this with somebody today, in that the average touch points that you need to get somebody from being a prospect to a client is about 5 to 7 times. So we want to get to that 5 to 7 times as quickly as possible. So some of that speaks to creating more videos to get in front of your audience frequently so they can get to know you and eventually get to the point where they're comfortable. But it's also having those call to actions on your videos, asking them to watch more of your videos, but going through some of the 3 call to actions that I'll talk about in just a second. So again, in each video that you have, it's important not to just have one call to action, but multiple, so that people are taking the actions. They're getting in the habit of following through with you, continuing that conversation, and watching more and more of your content, so they can build that know, like, and trust factor with you, but eventually get to the point where they have enough information and motivation to sign up with you as a client. What you need to do is tell exactly what people should do. Don't assume that they already know. What you have to do is, in every single YouTube video, you have to have at least 3 calls to action. You can have even more if you want, but you have to be very deliberate You have to tell people exactly what you want people to do at that exact moment. So the first one is just asking people to subscribe and hit that notification bell. So this is the easiest thing they can do. They slide down just below your video, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Again, it gets to kind of hitting that 5 to 7 touch points as quickly as possible. We want them consuming more of your content as it comes out. So if YouTube can kind of signal to them that you have new content coming out, that's going to increase the chance that they're going to continue that relationship with you, watch more of your videos, and giving you a better chance that they eventually become a client. The second call to action is getting people to engage. So engagement is really important. It signals to YouTube that people are enjoying your content. They're kind of starting that conversation with you. So it's going to lead to YouTube kind of spreading out your video views even broader. So we want to encourage that as much as possible. But also leaving comments below your videos offers an opportunity for you to kind of get to know your prospects a little bit better, have those conversations, and they get to know you a little bit better. So my view is the more conversations that you're having with your prospect, the better chance that you both can kind of get to know each other. And by doing that, those conversations will eventually lead to them being a client. So again, the more conversations you're having, the better chance that you have in booking them as a client eventually. And then the third and most important one to kind of booking them as a client really quickly is giving them a call to action outside of the YouTube platform. So it could be something on your website, it could be a landing page, something of value that really pushes them and motivates them and interests them to kind of continue that conversation with you. And it has to be something of value. So here's how I think about it. So in thinking about it from a personal development perspective, you have that key audience that you've kind of gotten to know and you're really targeting. What is that one key benefit that they're really looking for? So I've talked about this before in past videos. Kind of it tends to be kind of in that health bucket. So this tends to be around their career. Is it their relationships that they're looking to improve? Is it their own health and well-being that they're trying to improve? Like one of those key things, the key benefit that they're really looking for the most tends to fall in one of those key, buckets. So think about that key benefit that they're looking for. And in working with you, they're not going to get there right away. You're not going to get them in day one or week one to that goal right away. There's going to be some work along the way, and they realize that as well. But in kind of giving them a roadmap of how to get there, like what is that first real obstacle or roadblock that your audience is really facing, and how can you kind of give something away for free to get them moving in the right direction, especially in the personal development space. What you're going to tend to find is prospects that feel stuck and paralyzed in their current situation, and they don't really see any way out. So how can you provide something of value that gets them moving in the right direction? And if you can get them moving in the right direction, get them some momentum in the right direction, if they've been sitting there for years in the same situation and kind of miserable and don't know where to go, if you can get them some forward momentum, that's where you kind of build that trust with them pretty quickly. So what you're trying to build with that lead magnet, as I call it, is kind of something of value that kind of connects with them. So we're dealing with people on YouTube, so they like watching video content. So it makes sense that your lead magnet would be something video-based as well. So how can you kind of teach them something or give them an exercise they can do or something within their life that kind of gets them moving towards that one key benefit? So again, you're not going to give away everything that you're going to do, but it's kind of one key step within your coaching process in terms of building that trust and kind of showing that your coaching services are really differentiated. So, think about that call to action. It's something that is going to be relevant to what you're talking about in the video as well. It's something that your audience really wants. And that's really important. So in that call to action, obviously in the description of your video, you're going to provide a link, but also put a card up there to make sure that you're making it as easy as possible for people at the end of that video, if they're not ready to watch a further video of yours, that they go off something off the platform and start consuming that content. And again, getting some forward momentum to the key benefit that they're looking for all the time. So, in the comments, leave some ideas below about, again, what is your audience's one key benefit, and maybe some ideas about what your that last call to action could be. What is something that you would think about as going off the platform and might be a key benefit or something of value that you could give them? And again, I'll respond back to your comments. I can provide some further suggestions on how you can kind of flesh this out a little bit. It does take some thinking. It does, take some testing as well, that we can kind of get to know them a little bit more. So, the best way to kind of provide this call to action is, give them a link to, the video or a series of videos that you do have, but also having an email sequence so that they can get to know you a little bit better. They can kind of check off those boxes for the things that they need to know. So probably a little bit more about you, in talking through maybe a one-on-one offer. What are some of the frequently asked questions? Knock down some false beliefs. Share some testimonials from your other clients to kind of answer that question. Why do I have confidence that your process can work for me as a prospect? All those things in maybe an 8 or 10 email sequence, kind of give them the information that they need. So once they eventually get on a call with you, or have a face-to-face meeting, they already have the information that they need, that they're ready to sign up with you as a client. You've already established that know, like, and trust factor, not only with your YouTube videos, but with the video lead magnet that you have, but also those automated emails that are going out, and just providing some stories, some information that your prospects really need. I think what you'll find is most prospects have a certain set of questions that they really want to have answered, and that you can be very upfront in your marketing in answering them. So you don't have to wait till you get on a call with them or meet with them face to face before you have to kind of address those. You can introduce yourself. You can answer some of those common questions. You can knock down some of those objections really quickly, so that they're ready, willing, and able to kind of sign up with you as a client. So that's really important to, go from a YouTube subscriber to a client really quickly, is really in providing, knowing your customer very well, but also providing some value, but also the information that they need to know to be comfortable and really building that relationship, maybe spending the next 3 months or 6 months or a year with you, and kind of going through their mindset or whatever coaching that you do provide. So, think about that. Again, go in the comments, and happy to help and kind of help you work through what might be appropriate for your coaching. So if you got value out of this video, please hit the like button, share it with other coaching community members that you think would be to get some value out of this as well. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Again, I'm coming out with content every single morning around 9 or 10 a.m. That you'll be able to find in building out your YouTube presence, but also turning that into consistent clients over time. So one of the things that I do have is further information. I've done a series of webinars over the last few months that kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of these topics, especially kind of telling your story a little bit more, using email as a way of building that relationship. So go to mindsetcopy.com/webinar. Where you'll see kind of the replays of those webinars, where you can learn a little bit more about how using these techniques can help you build that relationship with your prospects and turn them into clients. So